Shalom, and welcome back to Bnei Noach Academy, Thoughts on the Torah. Please remember to hit the like button and to subscribe, to get others to subscribe, and to be sure to share this wisdom and inspiration with friends and family. If you look in the book of Exodus, chapter 20, in verse 15, it describes over there what happened, what transpired when the people saw the enormous revelation of the godliness. And the verse ends off with saying, Vayar ha'am vayanu. The people saw, the nation saw, and vayanu. Now, there's various interpretations of what this word means, but literally means that they trembled. They were in awe. They were in fear. And as a result, vayamdu merachok, and they stood from afar. They stood from a distance. So what is this verse telling us? In other words, as I always maintain, the Torah is not just telling us stories. It's not just giving us historical sketches of what happened in the past. Rather, it is teaching us something. It's teaching us a life lesson. It's doing so through the means of telling us a story, of telling us of a narrative, of repeating what happened in the past with the hopes, with the expectations that we will derive from it a lesson. What lesson is there in this? Of course, to know that when you see godliness, when you experience such holiness, you are going to tremble. You're going to stand from afar. But what is it really telling us? So you see, unfortunately, today's society, the more people appreciate something, the more they feel compelled to get, quote, closer to it. You know, there are no barriers. There are no more, are there any more of those important barriers of honor, of respect, even to the extent, something perhaps we've discussed in the past, where people can even call a parent by their name. That is absolutely wrong. There has to be a distance. No, not because you don't like the person. On the contrary, because you like the person very much. Not because you don't respect the person. On the contrary, because you do respect the person. Here we see it. What happened when they saw? Now understand, when they saw godliness, when they saw the sounds, when they saw the light, they experienced it. That means that they got as close to it as human beings can ever, or perhaps maybe will ever, get close to seeing, to experience godliness. Something that you and I can't even fathom. What does that mean? They got to experience it. They were there and they saw it, but they did not become, quote, too familiar with it to the extent that now they can get close and feel like we got some connection here. We are almost like buddies, if I may. That's how people feel sometimes. Oh, because we're connected. This is my teacher, or this is my superior, or this is my parent. So obviously we're connected. And I know them and they know me. So we have a closeness. So now let's take down all the barriers. Let's take down all the necessary parameters, not barriers in a negative sense, but the positive ones. And here the Torah teaches us that's not the right way. Here is what a proper reaction was. As soon as they saw it and they experienced it, this didn't give them a sense of familiarity and a sense of like, oh, we're close. We will lower our level of respect. In fact, it heightened their level of respect to the extent that they were awestruck, that they were in a certain sense of fear. When I say fear, I don't mean like the fear of looking down the barrel of a gun. I mean the fear of respect, as it is synonymous with respect, with reverence, with awe. And that propelled them to move even further back. Now that they understood it, now that they understood it more than they understood it before, now that they've experienced it even more than a human has ever been able to experience it, that propelled them, that led them to have even more respect, more awe, and therefore they took another step back, or maybe several steps back, to have a greater distance. This got them to better appreciate the distance between the mortal being and the great infinite God. So this is a lesson to us. When you respect something, when you love something, that doesn't mean that you now have a green card. You have a pass to be smothering that thing and to always be there without any limitations, without any whatsoever filter or barriers. Even in a loving relationship, imagine, I know this is going to seem so absurd, but imagine I love someone so much that 4 o'clock in the morning, I feel so compelled to jump on top of them and hug them and express to them how much I love them. How long do you think that relationship will last if I do this just even once, let alone night after night? In other words, because I love the person, because I feel so appreciative of this person, that's why I need to also, as I love them and as I appreciate them, have simultaneously a proper perimeter, a proper barrier, and that is called respect, awe and respect.